Hello guys, I'm Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my fall TBR, so all the books that I want to read this fall. Most of these I don't own, so they'll be on the screen. Let's get to it. I have romance, fantasy, and mystery. Most of these books I feel like are fantasy books. Also, I did a video on my fall book recs, so I'll link that below if you want to watch it. But this is just going to be fall TBR. Also, like anticipated releases for the fall, I will also talk a little bit about. So first, for the romances, I have like two. So one is You with a View by Jessica Joyce. I'm pretty sure this is like a road trip romance and they're like enemies or like rivals or something. I'm not really sure, but I've seen so many good reviews on it and the cover is so cute. And I've also heard like people that have read it, it's like one of their favorite romance books. So I feel like I need to read it to see what all the hype's about. And then I want to read Just Another Love Song by Carrie Winfrey. I'm pretty sure this is like a second chance romance, childhood friends to lovers, kind of where he goes off and becomes like a famous musician and then comes back home to her. And it's like second chance, that kind of thing, which sounds so good, like right up my alley. In October, I will be purchasing that. I'm so excited. And that's literally all of the romance books on my TBR for this fall, at least right now. I just want to read fantasy, mystery, that kind of thing. Well, except some romances that are on my anticipated releases. But besides that, that is all of the romances. So now let's get on into the fantasy. So first is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. I actually read like 70 pages of this and I didn't finish it. I borrowed it from the library and I had to return it, so I didn't finish it. And it was kind of like a melancholy vibe, so I feel like I wasn't in the mood to read it. And then my friend Reagan, I went to see her for her birthday and she literally gave me the special edition because she had an extra copy. Literally so kind of her, and it's stunning, so I definitely want to read it this fall. I've heard it's like the perfect fall read. It's basically about Addie LaRue, who she's living like hundreds of years and no one remembers her. And yeah, you're just following her, like the invisible life. Like no one remembers her. Like once they turn their back on her, they forget her. And she's living for hundreds and hundreds of years, which sounds very interesting. I've heard it's more of a slow-paced fantasy, but I'm very intrigued to read it. And then we have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is by the same author as Divine Rivals, which I loved so much. I think it's like a slower paced, like folk fantasy, where this guy is going back to his homeland and these girls are going missing, so they're trying to figure that out. And he runs into a girl he knows that they're enemies, childhood enemies, something like that. I am intrigued, but I've heard Sarah Crowley read this and said it was kind of slow, so that scares me. But then I've also had a couple friends on Bookstagram love this book, so I feel like I need to give it a chance. And also Reagan gave me this one as well because she's a queen. Next, we have a couple books that my husband owns. He is also a reader, but he reads more like fantasy books. So I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I highly recommend for the fall. They were in my fall book recs video. But there's books after that kind of in the same universe, which I want to read. So these are his, and they're so pretty. So this is King of Scars, and this is Roll of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. And I don't really know what they're about. This might have had a dust jacket, I don't really know, but the covers of these are so pretty. The red one, stunning. And I literally not a clue what this is about. All I know is that it's in the same universe, so it's in the Grishaverse, which is like a magic system or something. And one of the characters from Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom I know is going to be in these books, which I'm very excited about. So really want to read those. Next, for more fantasy that I don't own, I want to finish the Curse of Dark and Lonely series by Bridget Kimmerer. I read the first one. Really want to read the second two. The first one is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I really enjoyed, and I really want to read the next two, but I just wasn't in the mood to read it when I borrowed it from the library, so I want to finish that series this fall. And then I want to read Powerless by Lauren Roberts, which everyone is talking about recently. I did order it on Blackwell's UK. It is like free shipping to the US, so it just takes a little bit because it's obviously coming from the UK. So I did order that. I'm so excited for it to come in. It's like a enemies to lovers fantasy, and I've heard it compared to like The Hunger Games. I need to read it right now. I'm so excited for that book to come in. When it comes in, I'll be reading it immediately. I also want to read the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. This is in the Shadowhunters universe, and one of my friends on Bookstagram is reading it, and she said I should start with this series. I literally know nothing about it, but I really want to read it. I want to just give Cassandra Clare a chance because I haven't read any of her fantasy books. So excited to read that. And then we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I also don't know much about this. I think this is more of like a gothic fantasy, but I've just seen a lot of good reviews on it recently, so I really want to read it. I'm so sorry, in my TBR videos, I know nothing about the books, but these are the books I want to read this fall. It is Editing Bethany here, and I forgot to put a book in this video. and I really want to read it, so I'm going to include it here. It is Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. I'm looking at my computer because I pulled it up, and it is a romantic fantasy. It's like a fantasy romance with forbidden love. It says, a lush romantic fantasy about forbidden love, the choices we make, and the pull between duty and desire. I don't really know, but the cover looks so cute, and I really want to read that. So I think it's YA fantasy, and I've seen a few reviews on it, but not very many, so really want to read that this fall. And then a few like mystery we have. I want to read the Truly Devious series, which I have the first one, and I've read like almost 100 pages of it, 88 pages of it, and I just didn't finish it because I got the Brothers Hawthorne in the mail, and so I just read that. And I also don't have the rest of the series, so I'm afraid that I would read this and want to go straight into the next books, so I haven't finished it, but I do want to read it this fall. It's like a dark academia, like murder mystery set in a private school in Vermont, which sounds so good. It's YA, and I've heard just a lot of good things about it, and I feel like it's just giving fall. Like, this is just fall vibes all around. And then I also want to read the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm definitely going to buy the whole series in October, and I'm so excited to read it. It's like a Criminal Minds YA. I don't really know, but I've heard so many good reviews about it, and it just sounds so good, like really fast paced. You're on the edge of your seat. You want to just keep reading and binge the whole series, which is what I plan to do. So I really want to read that. And then we have, I don't know if this is mystery. I don't really know. This might be fantasy. Now I'm getting all confused out of my order. Anyways, it's Harry Potter, which is shocking. I don't know if I'll get to this, but I'm just putting it on my TBR, at least the first one, to see if I'll read it. This is actually my husband's. He has the whole series, and it's pretty short, actually, like very short. Is there page numbers on this? I don't know. We'll see if I want to read this, if I end up reading it this fall. I've just heard so many good things about Harry Potter, obviously the books, the movies, and I've never read them, so maybe we'll get to them this fall. We shall see, but it's on there. It's on my TBR, at least the first one, and we'll go from there. I haven't even watched the movie, so I know nothing about this except it's like magic, wizards. I don't really know. And then also one that's probably romance. I'm just literally all over the place. Is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I think it's like a romance with witches. I don't know, it sounded so good, and I heard that the main character falls in love with a librarian or something. Sounds so good, so I really want to read that in like spooky season, Halloween, October, that kind of vibe. And then we're gonna get to the anticipated releases for this fall. There's actually so many coming out. First is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I actually got an arc of this on Fable, and I already read it and loved it so much. So if you want to read that, it comes out October 3rd. You should. It's so good, and I was so excited about it. It's about Russ and Aurora, and they are camp counselors, and it's the second book after Icebreaker. Loved it. And then we have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I am so excited for this book. Like, I need it right now. It's like a fairy tale fantasy, and the end of book 2. I need book 3 right now, and I'm so excited that we have a little over a month till it comes out. Oh my goodness. That comes out October 24th, I'm pretty sure. Don't text on October 24th because I'll be busy. Then we have Hopeless by Elsie Silver, which is the 5th and last book in the Chestnut Spring series. I am so excited about this book. It's following Beau, and he is one of the brothers from the first few books. The first one's about Rhett, who's a bull rider, and the second one is about Cade, who is a rancher. The third one's about Jasper, who is a hockey player, and the fourth one is about another bull rider, Reckless. I didn't really love Reckless, but I love the other ones. Powerless is my favorite so far, and then Hopeless is the last one, and it's about Beau, and I don't really know much about him, but I'm so excited for this book. I feel like we've been waiting so long for people that have read the series. And then we have Sable Peak by Bethany Perry. I think this comes out in December, and it's the last book in the Eden series. I love the Eden series so much. It's basically following like 5 siblings, and you follow their love stories, and this is the last book, like I said, and I am so excited for it. It's following the last brother, but I can't remember his name. Anyways, I'm just so excited for this book. I love the Eden series. It's a small town romance set in Quincy, Montana, and it's just so good. So I'm very excited to read that. And then we have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. So excited about this book. It's the second book after Divine Rivals, and I cannot wait for that book to come out. I need it right now. If you haven't read Divine Rivals, it's so good. It's a historical fantasy with letters. There's a war going on between gods. It's so good, so good. So I'm so excited for Ruthless Vows. Then we have Never by Jessa Hastings. Oh my goodness. This is a new series that she's starting, a fantasy series that is a Peter Pan retelling, which I am so excited about. I had to ask my husband what happened in Peter Pan because I've never watched it, and I don't know. So he told me, and it makes me so excited to read this. It's the first book, comes out December 5th. I cannot believe it comes out so soon. I'm so excited for that book. And then we have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros that comes out November 7th. I have already pre-ordered it because I want the straight edges. I did read Fourth Wing and I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like my favorite fantasy. But I am excited for the second book because I feel like it's going to be so good, especially with how Fourth Wing ends. I think it's just gonna be so good. So I'm very excited. That is like a fantasy in a school, like a war college with dragons. That is all, I think, on my fall TBR. I feel like this video was so quick because I just didn't have, well, I have a good bit, but I don't have a lot of info about these books, but these are the books that I want to read this fall, and I am so excited to see how I feel about these books, if I like them, if I find some new favorites in these books. I'm just so excited. So thank you for watching. Let me know what's on your fall TBR. I would love to know. And I think that's it. So I'll see you very soon for my next video. Bye.